around here before Coach Prime.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite pre-Coach Prime era memory?
Oh, man. I think right now it has to be both of those Nebraska games in 2018 and 2019. They were fantastic. Obviously, it had been many years since we had played Nebraska, and it was fantastic to be a student here when those games were going on. Both comebacks. I think we've talked about this play before with the flea flicker call on the 1 yard line to KD Nixon. Just an insane way to open up that drive and sparked a comeback win for the Buffs. Was that I'm trying to remember, was that the game in 2019 where Mel Tucker was wearing the khaki shorts?
Well, he wore shorts at Arizona State. You guys remember there was the Mel Tucker game at Arizona State. I remember he wore shorts, and we asked him about it afterwards, and he said, it's 95 degrees. That's why I'm wearing shorts. But it became like a big deal. There might have been some other games that he was wearing shorts as well.
There was one cold weather game that he wore them.
Okay.
One cold weather game, yeah. That's what William's saying he wore them as. So, yeah, those games against Nebraska were great, and it was a perfect way as coming in here as a student, having followed the team prior, but coming here, you're wanting to have something that just like those moments that feel more personal to you. And I think for me, both of those Nebraska victories with, LaVisca Chenault playing a huge role in both of those, probably the best Buff we've had come out in quite a while. Make those plays in crunch time. Those have to be my favorite moments. But what about you? I'm curious. What's your favorite pre-prime moment?
I would probably have to go back to 2016 and clinching the Pac-12 South over Utah. Just to go from preseason being picked last in the conference to winning your division. And that team was such an easy team to root for with Philip Lindsay and Sefo Lufau, guys that did things the right way. Chidobe Awuzie, one of the most freak athletes I've covered at CU. The guy could do like a standing backflip without even running into it. He's just an incredible athlete. And that team was a lot of fun to cover. And certainly what happened in the Pac-12 championship game in the Alamo Bowl wasn't great. But at that moment when they had clinched the South, that's probably the best moment covering this team.
And I think you can still go watch the whole video series covering that year on the Buffs YouTube channel. Kind of obviously it's not to the level of detail or hours that you'll see with Well Off Media and Reach the People or anything like that. But that if you guys haven't watched that, I forget what they coined the series that year. The Rise, that's right. Yeah, I loved watching that, and I wish it had worked out for Mike McIntyre, man. I feel like if maybe some things had changed with the academic restrictions and maybe had a little bit more support, you would have seen him get it done here. But
and that year they had two really good defensive coordinators basically on staff with Jim Leavitt and Joe Tumpkin, and all the focus is on Leavitt going to Oregon, but the whole Tumpkin saga, that really set things back a little bit as well. And they were such a senior-laden team in 2016. And so when things evolved away from what Mike McIntyre was really successful was doing these satellite camps, finding under-the-radar recruits, well, then everybody started doing the satellite camps. And so there weren't as many hidden gems out there for him to uncover. And then, I think he's more of a program builder than the guy that's going to take them to the next step I think most people expect that to happen with Coach Prime this year.
Yes, no doubt. Hopefully we get a great year, continuing to improve. That's just all I want. I would love to see us in a bowl game, everything like that. But I think, Adam, the way too early record stuff, I think the floor for this team, it's got to at least be another 3-game improvement. That's how I see it, right? So let's get ourselves to a bowl game, and everything on top of that is great. That's how I see it.
Awesome, David. How can people find you and connect with your content?
Yeah, you can follow me at David Talks Buffs on X on Twitter. You can follow me on David Talks Buffs on YouTube and Spotify as well. And hey, if you like Broncos, I'm starting to get a little Broncos channel going as well. So David Talks Broncos.
Okay.
Just search that if you're wanting some. We're on our way to 500 subs over there. So,
awesome. Very cool. Well, I appreciate you, David. That was the first of 4 spring ball previews. Up next, we're going to have Chase Howell join BuffStampede Radio.